Hi guys, welcome to the third video from the Christmas special. Today we're going to make the second course and it's going to be a delicious lobster dish. First I'm going to show you how to prepare a lobster. The head I'm then using to make a lobster butter. We're also going to make a pumpkin cream, a lobster cone, a black tuille and a delicious lobster hollandaise. So, let's begin. First the lobster. The lobster I use weighs 600 grams and that's enough for 4 to 5 persons. Start by killing it by inserting a chef's knife down the head. Then tightly hold the tail and twist it off. Sometimes the tail contains this green stuff. You need to shake it out of the tail before boiling, otherwise that part of the lobster will turn green as well. Hold it tight and just shake it. Then insert the back of a spoon between the meat and the shell. This will prevent the tail from curling up. After that, twist the claws off the head. Now season some boiling water with salt and boil the tail and the claws. For every 100 grams of whole lobster, you boil them for 1 minute. So these I'll boil for 6 minutes. Then cool everything down in ice water. After 10 minutes, remove them from the ice water and also remove the spoon from the tail. Then gently press the tail to break the shell and peel it off. Take your time for this, because you don't want to damage the beautiful lobster meat. Keep all the trimmings for later. Now take the claws and separate them from the knees. Then twist the finger and pull it out. After, use the back of your knife to break the claws on both sides and then take the meat out of the shell. Be sure to check if you removed both swords, otherwise use a tweezer to remove them. Then take the knees and cut them open with a scissor. Once it's open, remove the meat from the shell. And keep the meat covered in your fridge for later. Then for the lobster butter. Take the lobster head and chop it in small pieces. Now add a drizzle of oil to a hot pan and pan fry the lobster head and the trimmings on a high heat till it starts to color. When that has happened, add 250 grams of butter and turn down the heat to a minimum. And cut 1 piece of lemongrass fine and add it to the pan as well. Mix it well and then let it marinate on the lowest heat for at least 40 minutes. Mix it every now and then. Once that's done, pass it through a fine sieve that's lined with a kitchen paper to clarify it. And keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the butternut squash cream. First cut one in half and remove the seeds. And cut a cross pattern in both sides. Now season the flat sides with some salt and drizzle some oil on top. Then turn them around on a tray that's lined with a silicone sheet and bake them at 200 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. Then let them cool down for a couple of minutes and remove the cooked meat. After that, cut 2 shallots in half and clean them. Now chop them. Then add a drizzle of oil to a hot pan and glaze the shallots on a medium heat. Once glazed, add the butternut squash and pan fry this for a couple of minutes. Then deglaze the pan with 200 grams of vegetable broth and 100 grams of cream. Now reduce all the liquid on a low heat. Stir it every now and then to prevent it from burning. Once it's reduced, transfer it into a blender and blend it till smooth. Then add a knife tip of santan powder and blend it for another minute. This will prevent the cream from splitting later on. Keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the black tuille. First mix 60 grams of egg white with 40 grams of oil, 10 grams of butter, 40 grams of sugar, 3 grams of salt, 50 grams of flour and 4 grams of squid ink. Blend this till smooth. Then spread the batter on a tuille mold. The one I'm using is from Mold Brothers. Now bake it at 160 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Then when still hot, remove the tuille from the mold and keep it dry and covered for later. Now for the hollandaise. First pour 200 grams of white wine into a saucepan and also add 200 grams of apple cider, 2 sprigs of thyme and 5 pepper grains. Then cut 3 kumquats in half. Add them to the pan as well and reduce it till it weighs 160 grams. Once it's reduced, pass it through a fine sieve. Then pour 140 grams of the liquid into a saucepan and season it with 4 grams of salt. Bring this to a boil. When the liquid is boiling, turn down the heat and while blending, add 100 grams of egg yolk. This will add a lot of air to the mixture and you don't need to beat it as long as normal. And use a whisk to beat it for another couple of minutes on a medium heat till firm peaks are forming. It needs to look like this. Then directly turn off the heat and add 50 grams of the cold lobster butter. Gently mix it till the lobster butter is incorporated. Now a small trick. By adding a tablespoon of store-bought mayonnaise as well, you can stabilize the hollandaise and reheat it without splitting it. The stabilizers in the mayo will prevent it from splitting. Now pour it into a siphon and charge it with 2 charges. The siphon will make the hollandaise a lot firmer and it will hold its form longer as well. Keep it in your fridge for later. Then the lobster cones. Take a couple sheets of brick dough and place them on top of each other. Now place a round plate on the sheets and cut it into a circle. Then cut the sheets in half. Now place the sheets on your worktop and cover them completely with some melted lobster butter. Then season with salt and roll the sheets on a metal cone shaper. Roll the cones as tight as possible and then lay them with the big sides on the outside on a metal tray. Now bake them at 160 degrees Celsius till golden brown. When still hot, remove them from the shaper to prevent them from breaking. Now we only need to make the lobster salad. First portion the tail in 3 portions. Each claw is also a portion once the fingers are removed. Then chop the knees and fingers into a fine salad. Transfer it into a bowl and season it with the butternut squash cream, some lemon zest and salt. Mix it. Then we can start to finish the dish. First heat up the hollandaise. For this place the siphon in some water that's 50 degrees Celsius. A pan or sous vide will work perfectly. A lot of the time I use my heat roll. That works great as well. Do the same with the carrot cream. Meanwhile, transfer the lobster tail into the remaining lobster butter and heat it on a low heat. This takes around 5 minutes. Then take your lobster cone and fill it with the lobster salad. Then pipe a dot of the hot cream on top and cover it with toasted pumpkin seeds. Now remove the lobster from the butter and season it with flaky salt and lemon zest. Then take the hot cream and pipe a big dot on a plate or bowl. Cover it with the hot lobster hollandaise. Now place the lobster tail in the middle and drizzle some pumpkin seed oil around the sauce. Then finally place the tuille on top of the lobster and it's ready to be served. Okay guys, that's it for today. The dish looks absolutely beautiful, the colors are really vibrant and the little lobster cone is also, I think it's really nice. It's a nice detail and it's a great way to use the parts of the lobster that are otherwise quite hard to use. Obviously you can also just serve them as well, they're still going to be very delicious, but I just like this little gimmick to serve it on the side. So let's just dig in, especially the lobster hollandaise is really nice and the, what's it called? The pumpkin cream is also very flavorful. The lobster is really tender, you can really smell the aromas of the lobster butter in combination with the lemon and yeah, it's just very delicious. So let's dig in. That's super good. Like I said, lobster is incredibly tender. That hollandaise, spot on. And the little cone, yeah, super delicious. Beautiful texture, delicious flavors. So like I said, really happy with the result and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you want to watch all the other Christmas specials, click on the link in the description for the Christmas special playlist. I'm going to upload the other upcoming 2 episodes on there as well. And let me know in the comments on what you want to see after the Christmas special. And as always, bon appetit!